ScouterStan. Let's talk a little bit about scouting. Is it really more militaristic? This question was posed originally by Dank 2000, who wanted to know if militarism is in Scouting BSA. First of all, you have to consider that the founder of Scouting, BP, was in the military all of his working life. He knew the system, he knew how the structure works, he knew the discipline. It was in what he did. The scouting movement that he invented was based on it, and some of that still remains today. Now, some scout leaders might say that scouting would be a great place to start a military career. Many youth are looking to join the armed forces, and they might look upon scouting as a good start. The morals and character building that goes on in scouting is essential for any good leadership, whether it be with the military or in the general public. But again, BP used the structure he was familiar with. Everything from the troop environment, the patrol environment, everything was based on that, with even the uniforms. The uniforms helped to keep the unit congruent with each other. You didn't judge them based on what they look like, because they all look the same in uniform. These were some of the concepts that BP was putting together so that the scouting movement would even have a structure. Now, there had to be some changes. Even in the military, you do not get to elect your leadership. In the troop environment, in scouting, we elect, the youth elect their leaders. In fact, the first promise made in the Scout Oath is to God and country. Over in England, they would say king. But good citizenship has always been a core value of scouting. It is the construct by which we support our duty to our country. Now, in the Great War, that would be World War I, scouts were asked to do messaging by the government. They even went through the process of selling war bonds and doing all kinds of drives to support the war effort. Have you ever heard of Boy Scout Week? June 8th through the 15th of 1919, by proclamation of Woodrow Wilson, almost 104 years ago, decreed that the country would recognize the Boy Scouts of America and all their service that they gave to their country. This Boy Scouts of America week was a promotional trying to get more youth involved in scouting. Now, during World War II, many Cub Scout packs and troops did scrap metal drives. They also did a lot of drives that were very unique, such as rubber tires, kitchen fat. They even helped out in victory gardens. There were records of scout troops being asked to come over and dig up an entire lawn because you can't eat grass. And then they would cultivate the soil so that it could be used as a garden. Victory gardens were very popular during World War II. Now, not just during major war times has the Scouts been called on. They've been called on for many other things since then. But it's always as a civilian voluntarily giving service back to a community in support of their country. The urban myth of scouting being some kind of militaristic organization is silly. And a lot of times, people assume bad things about good organizations. This even got back to Baden-Powell. When BP was asked, is the scouting movement militaristic? He called it humbug. It's a movement absolutely of peace and goodwill among men. It is completely based on the pillars of the Scout Oath and the Scout Law. As Scout leaders, we do a lot of work, and we need to make it clear to our parents and our leaders that scouting is a peace movement. Think about the words in the Scout Oath, the key words that we use in our Scout Law. Friendly, courteous, and kind. Those are not militaristic. So whenever you're thinking about it or talking with somebody who has this ideal, tell them about the Scout Oath. Tell them about the Scout Law. It will completely change the subject and dispel any of these urban myths that scouting is somehow militaristic. It's for the benefit and the teaching of good leadership skills that are so needed today. that you and I are dedicated to. Let's keep up that hard work and make good leaders for this great country. Until next time, I'll see you on the trail.